So in my last Nikke video, we talked about the Chinese version of the game and how a lot of things just seemed really biased. Like they released a bunch of like exclusive to China things, so on and so forth. And it even got to the point to where the CEO of Shift Up was mocking people for saying anything about it. And today we actually have, the developers notes, and they do talk about that a little bit at the end. So I kind of wanted to dive into this, go through all 8 freaking pages of these dev notes and really just kind of like understand what's going on and give my take at the end. So today we're going to do that. But before we get into that, obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Don't forget to check out Gamer Subs. Use code Tystra for 10% off of your order. Now, let's go ahead and dive in once again to this. Now, we already know this little introduction. So let's go ahead and dive into loading and storage optimization plan. One of the things is for the EN or global version of this game, the loading times are terrible on this, and we saw it happen through a side-by-side comparison of the game. Again, I urge you to check out my previous video on that. So over the past 2.5 years of service, our Goddess of Victory Nikke team has done everything we can to keep bringing fresh and exciting content to the commanders, from brand new events and visual effects of minigames, music tracks, and new bosses. We've prioritized variety over reruns to keep the experience engaging. However, the constant addition of new resources has started to put a strain on both storage space and loading times. In any live service game, technical optimization is a never-ending process happening behind the scenes. Our team has been constantly working to improve performance. That said, we've been cautious about openly discussing these efforts, as optimization results can vary widely depending on the device. With the huge range of mobile hardware out there, it's hard to promise the same improvements across the board or explain them in one-size-fits-all way. Okay. That said, in recent builds, the scope of these optimization efforts has grown so large that we feel it's time to speak directly about what we're doing. We apologize for the delay in communicating this, and we wanted to have a more solid, actionable plan in place before making any announcements. Here's what's currently being worked on. We're aiming to fix the long black screen that appears when launching the game by June. Based on testing, we expect to shorten load times by at least 27 seconds on both mobile and PC, and up to 141 seconds or more. That's pretty good. For the asset download delay, stage 5 of 7, the first improvement was rolled out in May and would already reduce load times by 3 to 6 seconds. A second round of improvements is targeted for November. For the delay when entering the lobby, stage 2 of 2, we're working to resolve it by mid-July to some extent. I like how they did go over it step by step and showing like the big load time issues. Because, sorry, readjust it really quick. Because that is the truth. Like, it's not just one part of the loading, it's multiple parts of the loading itself. So, really dig that. In terms of storage size, we actively working on cutting the total game size in half without sacrificing visual quality. Long term, we're planning to structure a structural overhaul that uses segmented resource management to prevent massive file increases with future updates. To all our commanders who've experienced these issues, we sincerely apologize. We are fully committing to delivering tangible results that you can feel in game. More importantly, we're enhancing our internal development process and bringing in additional team members focused solely on optimization to ensure ongoing improvement. Thank you for sticking with us. We're doing everything we can to make it a smoother, more stable gameplay experience. I would like to say that even with them doing these improvements, it would have been better to at least talk about it and say we understand the frustrations, and we're doing our best to fix these. Please give us time. And then once you have a solid date like you have here, then announce it, right? So I don't believe in the previous dev notes that they talked about this issue with the load times. So yeah, but then again, it wasn't a big issue until the Chinese version came out. So Yeah. Notice on gameplay content, Union Raid hard mode convenience improvements. As mentioned in March's developers notes, we'll be making improvements to Union Raid's hard mode. Previously, bosses were unlocked one at a time, which meant players had to wait to challenge the ones they wanted. Starting with the new Union Raid season on May 30th, all bosses will now be unlocked at the same time. This change will let you play in any order you like, and we hope it makes the experience more convenient and enjoyable for all commanders. Okay, so we get to choose which boss we want to fight out the gate. I think that's neat, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't feel it makes a difference for my union because my union's it doesn't suck, but we never get past hard mode. So unless y'all want to join Void Corp. I'm just saying we want to kick some ass. Co-op operation content improvements. Okay, we're excited to share updates on the upcoming coordinated operation 2.0, which will feature two distinct modes to better suit different playstyles. Okay. First is normal mode, designed for commanders who prefer a more casual, fast-paced experience. This mode will include auto battle, and once damage reaches stage 9, the boss will automatically trigger its instant death pattern. No canceling mechanics required. We hope this makes coordinated operation more convenient and easy to enjoy for those looking to clear content quickly. Next is challenge mode, and aimed at commanders who want a more competitive and skill-based experience. In this mode, auto battle will be disabled, and the boss's instant death pattern will only trigger if players fail to cancel it. Gameplay will feel similar to original coordinated operation, but with a few new features to raise the stakes. So, this is to combat people who are just, they'll go in and they'll just not do anything. They'll just not play, right? So, and I get that. I get that people just want to get in, get their rewards, and get out. But people like me who actually do want to score higher and get better rewards, this is great because then those ones that just want to flop like a dead fish, they can go flop like a dead fish somewhere else. I want to do challenge mode. I want to actually get more rewards, right? One key addition is an activity removal system. Players who remain idle for a set period will be automatically removed from battle. We hope this feature clearly distinguishes between normal and challenge modes, allowing players with similar playstyles to enjoy coordinated operation together even more. Thank you! Remove them. That way they don't get the rewards. That actually is such a win. Like, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't care if anybody thinks that I'm overreacting to this, but nothing is more annoying than when you actually want to score higher, people who just sit there and do nothing. Remove them, because at that point, it's better to just get them out and they don't get the rewards. Well, at least I would like the clarification if they get the rewards or not, because they're not saying that. But I hope that that's the case, that they don't get the rewards, and it just says, you were removed for inactivity, play the game, please. You know? We also added a report feature in challenge mode. If players act in ways that go against the mode's intended design and receive multiple reports, they'll be temporarily restricted from accessing the mode until certain conditions are met. Thank you. I feel like some people might abuse that, though, but we'll see. By clearly distinguishing between normal and challenge modes, we hope to reduce the stress associated with matchmaking and gameplay in co-op mode. We also revamping the co-op reward system. Currently, the items available in the recycling shop haven't been enough of a motivation to keep players engaged. To improve this, we'll be adding new gear-related items and upgrade credits as well. These will be available as the new currency. They can be earned from coordinated operation rankings. Don't worry, broken cores, the current currency, will still be used to preserve your existing experience. Cool. I do like the fact that they're adding more to it and giving people more incentive to actually try and go further. Best of all, this new currency won't be limited to specific rankings. It can be obtained across all rankings, providing more opportunities to enhance your equipment. Originally scheduled to release in Q3, Co-op 2.0 is ahead of schedule and will now be launching in June. Let's go next month, baby. I love it. W right there. Introduction to the surface content. Okay, this is going to be a little bit crazy. We would like to give you a brief introduction to the upcoming surface content. Unlike existing battlefields, the new surface content introduces a 3D world built in hexagonal tiles. While squad formation and movement will feel similar to what you've seen in campaign missions, movement here happens tile by tile with various exploration elements scattered throughout the map. Something you could see in the preview image shared in the developer notes. Okay, so yeah, it is a hexagonal tile. I wonder if it's going to be like a turn-based RPG type style where you're going through and then you randomly trigger a rapture event. Since content like solo raid already delivers a high intensity combat experience, battles on the surface will be fully simulation based, designed to reduce stress. Our goal is to give players a uh, fresh way to enjoy with their nikkes through smart squads setups and strategic deployment rather than pure combat difficulty. In addition, battles against Lord class and boss raptures will include area gimmicks, which add light tactical challenges that rely on simple controls and team-based strategies. Lord class raptures will be available when the surface content launches, and boss raptures will be added in later updates. Okay, I dig that a little bit. I think it looks pretty cool. Then we got a couple more right here, so we can see the Lord and then the boss one right there. Okay. We also plan to use the new field to host small-scale events and mini updates, so there's even more to look forward to because the content is on a larger scale. We'll be keeping the story elements more simplified to allow for smoother, more flexible updates. Right now, we're in the final stages of preparing for the Lord class Rapture battles. However, any further internal testing, we've decided to take a bit more to improve the tactical experience. We apologize for the delay, but we're committed to delivering service content that meets your expectations of both quality and gameplay. Okay, so I do like the surface gameplay stuff that they're doing. Yeah, it's basically just an extra little event thing. So I want to try it. I do want to try it. I think that it has the potential to be really, really good. So we'd like to share an update regarding upcoming improvements to convenience. Although we simplified daily missions back in January, we still see room for improvement overall daily playtime. With more content on the way, we understand that playtime could increase, and our goal is to keep daily gameplay manageable and enjoyable even as the game grows. Okay, very nice. We've been actively discussing different solutions, and while nothing's a final yet, we want to give you a sense of direction we're heading. So that's what I mean when I said earlier, like, you don't have to, like, say a date, but you could give us, like, a little bit of, like, a feeler out there to let us know. I feel like they're going to do this for some other stuff. But I wish they would have did that for the load time stuff. So, addition to bulk purchase function in the shop, we're adding a new feature that will let players purchase multiple items at once instead of having to buy them one by one. Think of it like a shopping cart system. This is aimed at reducing the hassle of tapping and buying each item individually in events or content shops. The feature is scheduled to roll out in June, and so we'll be able to buy multiple things at once. Here is what I think is going to be the meat and potatoes of this entire dev notes. And I'm very excited to read over this because I want to know what they're thinking, right? Lastly, we'd like to share an important update with care. On May 22nd, Goddess of Victory Nikke officially launched in China. Due to a significant difference compared to the global version at launch, the Chinese version will run as a separate build with its own policies. Just that alone already ticks me off because I get it. You had to launch later for China from what it seems like because of censorship. But at the same time, bro, like, just because you had to run it, like, you had to release it later doesn't mean that you have to give them all this, like, insane stuff that we don't even have access to. That's just my thing. Due to the same differences, Chinese version will run as separate build of its own policies. The 2.5 years of gap and separate builds meant that on the one hand, there might possibly be story spoilers, but on the other hand, it also allows us to incorporate some unique and complementary elements. So, because you didn't release all of the story at the same time, because you have a lot of catching up to do, and they could be spoiled on the story, meant that you could give them stuff that is beneficial. Like, I could understand giving them like gems and stuff and saying, hey, this is just compensation for the fact that you guys will be behind in story, but like giving them exclusive skins, exclusive like rewards, all sorts of different stuff, right? Like it just feels, I don't know. We understand that some people may question why certain new costumes and convenience features are only launching in China, and we completely understand those feelings. But we believe that the two versions, China and global, will grow in their own directions under different conditions and circumstances, and that one day their differences will enrich one another. For now, we hope you understand that we are in the middle of this improvement process. You're banking on people to play both versions. Like, that's how it comes off to me. Is like they're going to be two separate versions, so you should, really consider looking at the Chinese version as well and really like playing it. It's like, bro, I am not going to play two versions of Nikke. No offense, I love Nikke, but I'm not playing two different versions just to get the exclusivity rewards. You know what I mean? Since we're in different environments, differences in these updates are inevitable. However, we'll share feedback in the direction as we go so that our paths can ultimately lead to a better future for each version. Starting with loading improvements, we're working on a number of global releases and improvements that will be announced. Yep, they already kind of talked about that. So let's see. And then, boom, we'll go right here. The same mindset applies to the collaborative project we have been working hard on. So I'm guessing that means the Stellar Blade stuff. The Goddess of Victory Nikke and Stellar Blade collaboration began with a lot of pressure and concern. Even though the two titles share a similar tone and come from the same studio Shift Up, we were careful not to move too quickly. We worried that if they did not blend naturally, it could diminish the character of both games. I mean, that's how collabs are. Like, I feel like this is just a very like weird point to point out. I don't. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense to point that out because, like, what is going to be the difference between the Stellar Blade collab on global and the Stellar Blade collab in China now? Like, it makes it seem like there's going to be a lot more going on the Chinese version now, and it kind of I don't know. That's just how it feels to me. That's just how it feels to me. Wait, why does it feel like I missed? Wait, so this is page 6. Oh, they reversed it. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that. We remain committed to supporting the global version with full effort and will continue working to strengthen both versions together. We kindly ask for your support for the Chinese version so that the world of Nikke can allow more commanders to be connected together. So yeah, you really do want us to play both versions. Like, the final statement is like, please support the Chinese version. It's like, no. Like, what? Oh my goodness. To be honest, or closing remarks, to be honest, preparing this developer's notes has been a time of deep reflection. With the official release of the Chinese version, I've been thinking a lot about how two different builds can still share the same world. I've also reflected on ongoing challenges like loading times and storage, the introduction of the new service content, and how we weren't able to deliver it on our original planned date. Looking back, each of these matters have weighed heavily on me as a developer. No matter how exciting the new content is or how many improvements we introduce, we know that first and foremost, these are the people who have been waiting. That is what stays with us most. It is why delays feel more painful and why we are committed to repaying the patience of the meaningful results. And then we go over here. The same mindset applies to the collaboration project, similar tones of both games. Still, we kept working together. Over time, we discovered they shared a similar emotional core, and we found a genuine connection between them. It was not impossible after all. I mean, yeah, if you could find a general like consensus of Goddess of Victory Nikke and ReZero, I think finding the commonality between two of your games is much easier. That's just my take on that. We truly believe that after all this preparation, commanders will love what we have created. What began as a project full of uncertainty has become something we are genuinely proud of. This is not just about the Stellar Blade collaboration. We know we are not perfect. Sometimes we fall behind, but we never stop moving forward when we are with you. To honor that trust, even today, the development team continues to write the story of Nikke one line at a time. We will keep doing everything we can to make sure this story lives, not just in your memories, but also in your hearts. You know, okay. So here's my final take on this, right? While there's a lot of great stuff coming to Nikke, it's apparent that the Nikke devs, in my opinion, are wanting us to do both games. They want us to play both the global version and the Chinese version of the game. And like, as a Nikke creator, like an official creator with them, I want to be honest. Not everybody's going to do this, and it's not entirely fair to have that. Plus, you have your CEO of Shift Up making fun of the global players for having an issue with this and just being like, "Oh, big baby, oh, this is not good. It's not a good look." Now, yes, is great stuff coming to Nikke for the global version? Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't see this stuff coming out for the Chinese version as well. Maybe it's going to be delayed, and maybe they're going to give more gifts for that, but at the same time, like, you know, I just feel that, like, there's a difference between giving a couple of gems every once in a while to the Chinese version to be like, "Hey guys, sorry you guys are behind. Here's some free stuff." And oh, here's some free costumes. Oh, here's this, here's that. Or not free costumes, but exclusive costumes. So, I don't know. I am still excited. I do love Nikke. It's one of my favorite gacha games right now. I'm just not happy with the whole Chinese version stuff that's been going on. I want people to experience this game. I think that honestly, in general, like, it's still one of the best gacha games out there. But the fact remains that it feels as though Shift Up's development team and Up do not understand why this is an issue. And I'm not going to play the Chinese version of the game to get those exclusive perks, because they're not going to be on my global version anyway. So, but this has gone on longer than I thought. 22 minutes. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys. But that was a lot of dev notes. So, anyways, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this whole debacle with the Chinese version of the game, because really, I'm just kind of in a funk about it. That's the best way I could put it. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Love you guys to death. And as always, we'll catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.